All right, welcome everybody to round one. We have got Frafa from TBC at the bottom of your screen, and we've got wsgRon up at the top. Let's tell our players they are good to go. All right, look at this. Looks like Frafa kept a 3-power Azindel, Defile, Desert Marshal, Deathwing Hand. That looks like a mid-range keeper if I've ever seen one.
Definitely, and it's really nice that Frafa has 3 undepleted power. That means anything that happens within the first 3 turns, he can really utilize all the resources right away. Doesn't have to fall behind if Ron has a fast start.
All right, on the other side of things, wsgRon also with a 4-power D'Angelo Houndmaster. After that, Auto Tread on turn 1, a Mandevilla, and a Defile. So Auto Tread into Houndmaster is a pretty decent start.
Yeah, and I'm thinking probably Exploit here is gonna show us show Frafa what he has working with, and then probably following it up. Oh, chooses not to. Probably keeping up Defile here for getting a removal spell going, not wanting to fall too far behind. Maybe wanting to keep the Exploit for a Plunder combination turn later, where they Exploit maybe on turn 4, make their power drop, and have another 2-cost play, which also makes a lot of sense.
All right, Desert Marshal, that's going to go ahead and silence the Houndmaster here. That silence is going to go off. This Defile is going to take care of the blocker, so the damage will get through, but the Houndmaster just a vanilla 2-1 for now.
That's right. Now we have an opportunity to use Sinister Rumors here.
Yeah, you can actually Sinister Rumors and Exploit here. That'd be a good use of power.
That's right. That would be a very good use of resources. It's always good to maximize your resources every turn. Try to use up as much of your power as you can at any given time, if needed.
All right, Sinister Rumor is going to take out that Auto Tread, and then Exploit going to nail this Mandevilla. And unfortunately for Ron, nothing going but a vanilla 2-1 now, and that's got to be exactly what Frafa wants to dial up.
Yeah, and this is Indel with Ron being so few on cards and sort of answers. This is Indel is going to end up being very, very impactful here.
Sure is, and that Vinegrafter going to bite it as well. Now Ron's top decking pretty well. Vinegrafter into Moldermuck going to keep the action coming. But yeah, it's Frafa only having to deal with 1 threat at a time now is exactly what they want. Like you said, here comes this Azindel, and that's going to be pretty nice here.
Yeah, Ron has one shot here to rip the card draw. Chances are we're not going to see a block here from Frafa, but
yeah, no block. That's gonna
what Azindel hits.
Put Frafa down to 10, but that's fine. Azindel's gonna get some power there. Gonna move up to an 8/8 lifesteal, and that's gonna make that life not an issue anymore. It's gonna put Frafa back up to 18, and then another Azindel in hand as well.
That's right, and probably the second Azindel here is more impactful than the original one because it did only flip 2 power, which yes made the Azindel really big, but didn't get a lot of other advantage.
Right, but the life change there pretty nice. That's gonna put Frafa back up to only even 14 here, and there you go, drawing a Vinegrafter, Stone Scar blueprints here in addition to the 2 big lifesteal units as well. Now, I'm not sure it'll come up. One interesting interaction is because the Moldermuck blocks and then gets the decay, if a Moldermuck on 1 were to block the Azindels, they would not gain any health, but might not matter at this point. Frafa's looking in pretty good shape.
It is definitely something that Ron is going to have the back of his mind next turn when he has those 1/1s and Frafa as well, understanding that Frafa will not be gaining life when attacking. But
if they were still at 8, maybe that'd be more of a concern. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. All right, well, quick win by Frafa. That's pretty much exactly what the mid-range deck wants to do there, right? Remove all your early threats, disrupt your plan, and then just hit some kind of mid-range haymakers, and it's as easy as that, I guess.
That's right. Frafa's deck is a little bit bigger than Ron's deck here, so just by a process of developing naturally, Frafa's going to end up being ahead. Ron will really have to try to fire off the the gates quickly in order to get an early advantage and be able to close out the game.
Get them back down. Looks like they're jumping into their second game here, so let's just get down there and catch the start of that. All right, looks like wsgRon is on the play this time. I think they were on the play last time as well, but obviously I think both these players probably want to be on the play. Ron's deck potentially more, but everybody wants to be on the play.
Everybody finds it important for sure. Yeah. Combo deck players as well. It's important to go first. It's an aggressive, quite the aggressive format since the release of the latest cards. A lot of good aggressive low units were printed, so it really did speed up the format quite a bit.
All right, here we go. Ron keeping a hand of 2 power, a blueprints, a flash fry, defile, an impending doom, and a waxing moon. So not quite the 1-drop, 2-drop hand as last time. This time they've got some disruption followed up by an impending doom and a waxing moon. I'm not sure in this matchup if that's good or bad. I mean, I guess it dodges some of the removal from Frafa, but hey, we got exploit here anyway, and a little bit slower out of the gates.
Yeah, that does sound like a little bit of a slower hand. So depending on what kind of answers Frafa draws, maybe Impending Doom goes the distance, but likely it'll probably not be enough.
Yep, absolutely.
And a very nicely developing hand here. I think for Frafa's side. They can make sure they'll have 5 power here to play their Zindel on curve, possibly get it back with Sinister Rumors if there is an answer from Ron's end. So I think, yeah, Frafa's game plan here is developing very, very well, just on plan. And I haven't seen very many impactful plays yet from on this game, which is making me nervous as a fellow teammate.
Of course,
our fearless leader.
Indeed, Styre's Eyes hitting the board here. We do see this Dichro, and I don't know if you remember if you watched any of Friday's coverage, Alex, but Dichro was pretty hard to deal with, it seemed like. From what the deck's removal suite was bringing, it just dodges a lot of that. There was a lot of stun-based removal, which obviously Dichro has endurance, a lot of damage-based removal, it gets regen, hitting a 6-drop is kind of tough, so it was just really hard to deal with once it hit the board.
Definitely, very, very much a star unit, counteracting all the different removal spells that are available in this more narrow expedition format than what you would be expecting in Throne. So a unit like this, really very, very impactful and kind of like a rising star.
We're going to play this Deathwing, warp this Deathwing off the top here. Our good friend Glenn, Pathcutter coming in. Might not do too much on this board, but hey, a 2-1 for value. Not the worst.
Yes, they chose to get that sort of draw value from and not develop the Zindel and potentially giving Ron here a chance to kind of race before that gets established. I'm curious if they're going to leave back Styre's Eye for a potential chump block, or just going for Dichro. And I don't think that Ron has that many answers. We've got probably just Mandevilla. That's what it looks like. Potentially Auto Tread plus Waxing Moon if that ever happens, and then Combust in the market.
All right, Vinegraft are going to hit here. Ron going to go straight to the market. Options are Combust, Reappropriator, a Rock, Lethrai Falchion, and D'Angelo Might, and I think you mentioned going for that Combust there. That is one way to take care of a Dichro. I was just talking about how few options there were, but here's one.
That's right. It's a flex slot in the market, and it's what's particularly convenient about it is that it only costs 1, and it helps bypass some of the awkwardness of grafters in general and how expensive it is to go to your market and actually get a card, be able to play it. So able to get a little bit more of an advantage. although still not being able to play it that last turn.
Here we see that combust hitting. Glenn's going to go ahead and take care of that Dicro. But for Frafa, they did get an Azindel down, and that's going to be Value Town as well. Could take some damage here. Would be interesting to see. I assume they take 5, especially with Azindel having a lifesteal. Again, though, the regen will block some of that lifesteal, so always just got to keep that in mind. Again, I don't think it's going to be game-breaking, but always got to keep those little things in mind of when you may not gain health from the lifesteal.
That's right, and I think honestly, these next 2 turns are going to be the key turns of the game. We're either going to see Ron being able to kind of overcome this. They've got a free block for 1 turn, so I'm assuming the Frafa here would chump block, and we're seeing Ron basically go all in for it, which is they really have to, or else it's kind of over. This Azindel is gonna take over. All right, that Azindel hit a lot of cards here.
Sure did. We're going to see a Javon out here in addition to this Vine Grafter. Javon, if you haven't seen it, a 3/3 for 3. Pay 4 to draw a card. If it's a unit with cost 4 or less, you just get to play it for free. When Javon attacks, each unit you played this turn gets +1/+1.
So, Steyer's Eyes, most certainly here, I feel like, is going to need to make some blocks. No, choose to develop another Azindel.
Talk about using your power efficiently. Being able to get back that Dicro and also play another Azindel in the same turn is pretty good. Just got to be careful with that life total. At 11, without the lifesteal blockers ready to go. All right, Auto Tread here with regen. And we get another Hound coming through, so 2 Hounds made off that Houndmaster.
Yeah, and the regen is gone, so we can't get a free block here from the Grafter. The Azindel can trade with one of these 4/4s. Trying to see, there's no direct damage, anything to be worried about immediately, other than 1 more damage that the Auto Tread can do. So I suppose taking some damage isn't immediately. That is scary. Especially because we have 2 regen units on Ron's side here. So Frafa cannot gain life this turn.
It's true, and talked about that gotta be aware of that lifesteal. Now, Ron, no cards in hand, and Diker also not having regen, of course, as you mentioned, courtesy of that Auto Tread. Moldermuck the draw for Ron, so Ron's done a good job of continuing to put threats out there.
That's right, and Ron can trade the card in his hand for the Dicro right now, because that Impending Doom needs to be blocked.
It sure does. Now Ron will lose the Impending Doom in that situation, but it's a good way to take out that Dicro for sure.
I wonder how impactful not developing the Azindel 1 turn earlier this game potentially was for Frafa.
Indeed.
That's something we can look back on and see kind of a different line where a different result might be, or an easier result rather may have come out of this.
Quick heads up, that is a smaller T&E again tonight. I believe we have 15 players, which means we're still going to have 5 rounds of... Actually, 15 players. We'll have to see if they're doing a top 4 or top 8. I'll have to check with the TOs on that. I think 15 means we only do a top 4 because it's less than 16, but I'll double check on that before confirming. But with 15 players, the rounds should go a little bit quicker. We probably won't have a ton of backup action here tonight. But we'll see. That's more points for the players for sure. Moldermuck going to hit down here. I mean, this is still a good chance to get into Worlds. Nobody knows it better than you, but still a good option for getting into Worlds.
Oh, I think it's an excellent option for making it to Worlds. And here, we just have a lethal Dicro on the board, and that is it.
And that's going to be it. So Frafa is going to take that one 2-0.